Alright, in this video we'll see how to calculate NPV and IRR of new projects using Texas Instruments BA2 Plus Financial Calculator. Alright, so what you have here is that a company wants to buy a new machine that will generate some cash flows, and it will cost 5k to buy the machine, and the expected return is 15%. Now we need to calculate the NPV and IRR of this project. Now the timeline of our cash flow is this. As you can see, we have a cash outflow of $5,000 at the very beginning, and after 1 year we receive $2,000, and we receive $3,000 each year in year 2 and 3, and in the final year we receive $1,000. Now to solve this using the calculator, go to this button that is labeled CF. We'll be using this button to tell our calculator how our cash flow looks like. Alright, so but first we need to clear the memory of previous cash flows. To do this, first press this button, and when you are in the cash flow menu, press this second button, then press this clear work, and it will clear the previous memory. Alright, then we need to give the inputs for our cash flow. Now if you press CF, you'll see that CF0 shows up. This pretty much means the initial cash outflow. Alright, in our case we have a cash outflow of $5,000, so we'll put 5,000 and negative, as it is a cash outflow. So do that, 5,000, press this to turn it to negative, then press enter. Then press this button, scroll down to C01. The C01 is the cash flow that we will receive at year 1. So we have a positive cash flow at year 1. This is our C01. So give input for that, press enter, and after you press enter you will see that the equal sign shows up, and that means that now the cash flow at 1 is set to 2,000. Now then go to cash flow 2. There is this thing, F01. We use this button if the frequency of cash flow is more than 1. In our case we only receive one cash flow of $2,000, but in the next year we'll see that we have two cash flows of $3,000. You can use this button to directly set the values of year 2 and year 3 to 3,000, but I actually never use this one. I pretty much always keep this to 1, and I separately give the inputs for each year's cash flow, and I will do the same here. Alright, so keep it to 1, go to cash flow 2, give the input of 3,000 and press enter, and then keep it to 1 again, then go to cash flow 3, put 3,000, press enter, then again go to cash flow 4, put 1,000 here, and done. Now our calculator knows how our cash flows look like. Now let's say you wanted to utilize this this thing, this F01, F02, whatever. So if we fully utilize this, we'll give the inputs as follows. So go to cash flow, first clear it, go to cash flow, then clear the memory, then put 5,000 negative, enter, then cash flow 1 is 2,000, so 2,000, enter, keep it to 1. But when you go to cash flow 2, you give the input of 3,000, but F02 will be 2 because we have 2 cash inflow of $3,000. Alright, so put 2 and press enter, and now this CO3 is actually this cash flow. It's kind of confusing because you may think that CO3 is the cash flow at year 3, but it's actually this one. Now it's kind of confusing, that's why I actually always keep it to 1 and give the inputs of cash flows separately. Anyways, so put 1000 here. Alright, now that your calculator knows what your cash flows look like, you can easily compute NPV or IRR. To compute NPV, press this button that is labeled NPV, so you know this is NPV button. Now give the input for your expected return. In our case it is 15%, so press 15, then press enter, then again scroll down, and from here just press this compute, and the NPV is, alright. Now to compute IRR, just press this button that is labeled IRR and then press compute, and our IRR is 30.4%, which is great. We should accept this project because we have positive NPV. IRR also looks good, so that's how we do it. Alright, now we'll solve another problem where we have more things like we have monthly cash flows, and we'll also be using this frequency of cash flows button mode this time because we'll have lots of cash flows, and we'll also have monthly compounding. So let's see how to do that. Alright, so what we have here is that we have some sort of a project where the machine generates this kind of cash flows, monthly cash flows. This is from month 1 to month 6 we'll receive $3,000 each month, and from month 7 to month 12 we'll receive $5,000 each month, and finally from month 13 to 24, which is actually the second year, we'll receive $1,000 each month. Alright, the cash flows are stated on monthly basis, and the expected return is also compounded on monthly basis. Great. And one last thing is that in our previous problem we had some cash outflow at CF0, which was our purchase price, but in this problem there is no mention of any purchase price or any cash outflow at the very beginning. So in our calculator this one will be set to 0. Alright, let's see how to do it in the calculator. Alright, first let's clear the memory. So press CF, then press second, clear work. Then let's give the inputs for our cash flows. So our first cash flow is actually 0 because CF0 is 0. There is no initial cash outflow or inflow. So press 0 and then press enter. Then C01 is actually this series of cash flows. So put 3000, enter. And in the frequency of this cash flow there are actually 6 months here, so we'll put 6, then press enter. Then CO2 is this series of cash flows. Again there are 6 months here, so we'll put 5000, then FO2 is 6. Finally CO3 is this series of cash flows, which is for 12 months. So input 1000, enter, then the frequency is 12, enter. Alright, then to calculate NPV, press this NPV button. Then in interest rate, put the monthly interest rate because this annual rate will be compounded on a monthly basis. So I should be 15% divided by 12, that is 1.25%. So this is 1.25, so put 1.25, press enter, go to NPV, then press compute. Alright, so the NPV is 53449, and there is no IRR of this project because you need at least one cash outflow to have an IRR of any project. And that's all for this video. See you in the next one.